Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel The World Coin. On this channel, we explore rare and valuable coins from around the world. Old dollar coins, error coins, and hidden treasures that can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you love coin collecting, or want to know the real value of coins you already own, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Let's get started with today's rare coin. I have 3 videos of 1 dime. So let's get started. The United States 1 dime coin dated 1980 with the P mint mark is an important coin from the long-running Roosevelt dime series and represents a significant period in modern American coinage history. This coin was produced by the United States Mint and struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by the P mint mark on the coin. For many decades, coins struck in Philadelphia did not carry mint marks, but later the P mark became a standard indicator showing the coin's place of production. The Roosevelt dime series was introduced in 1946 to honor the American President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death in 1945. Roosevelt's leadership during the Great Depression and World War II made him one of the most influential leaders in United States history, and placing his portrait on the dime was also a tribute to his support of the March of Dimes campaign that helped fund research against polio. By 1980, the Roosevelt dime had already been circulating for more than 3 decades, and coins from this period became common in everyday commerce while also attracting attention from collectors interested in different mint years, mint marks, and coin conditions. The obverse side of the 1980 P Roosevelt dime features the detailed left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. This portrait was designed by the engraver John R. Sinek, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint during the mid-20th century. Sinek's design captures Roosevelt's recognizable features with precision, including his forehead, nose, chin, and the smooth contours of his facial profile. Surrounding the portrait are inscriptions that are traditional elements of American coinage. The word, "Liberty," appears prominently along the left side of the coin, symbolizing the fundamental value upon which the United States was founded. Beneath the portrait appears the phrase, "In God We Trust," which is the official national motto of the United States. On the right side of the coin appears the date, 1980, and near the date is the small P mint mark identifying the Philadelphia Mint as the place where the coin was produced. In very fine condition, the portrait of Roosevelt remains clear and recognizable, though the highest points of the design, particularly the hair above the ear and the cheek area, may show moderate wear from circulation. The reverse side of the 1980 Roosevelt dime displays a symbolic design representing liberty, strength, and peace. At the center stands a vertical torch, symbolizing enlightenment and freedom. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch representing peace, while on the right side appears an oak branch symbolizing strength and endurance. Together these elements form a powerful composition representing the ideals of the United States. Around the upper edge of the coin appears the inscription, United States of America, and beneath it appears the denomination, 1 dime. Between these inscriptions and the central design appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the states that form the nation. Even in very fine condition, the torch remains clearly visible with its flame and vertical lines intact, while the olive and oak branches remain identifiable even though some of the smallest leaf details may show wear. The composition of the 1980 Roosevelt dime reflects an important transition in United States coinage. Prior to 1965, dimes were made from 90% silver, but rising silver prices led the government to change the composition to a copper-nickel-clad structure. By the time the 1980 dime was produced, the coin consisted of a pure copper core sandwiched between 2 outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This structure provided durability and reduced production costs while maintaining the familiar silver-colored appearance of the coin. The 1980 P dime measures approximately 17.91 millimeters in diameter and weighs about 2.27 grams. The coin features a reeded edge consisting of many small vertical ridges around its circumference. Historically, reeded edges were used to prevent the shaving of precious metals from coins, and even though modern coins no longer contain large amounts of silver, the reeded edge remains an important traditional feature. Coins classified as very fine condition show moderate circulation wear but retain most of their important design features. On the obverse of the 1980p dime, the outline of Roosevelt's portrait remains sharp and easily recognizable, though some of the finer hair details may appear smoother due to wear. The inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and 1980p, remain readable and distinct. On the reverse side, the central torch remains prominent and the olive and oak branches remain visible even though some of the smaller leaves may appear worn. Overall, a very fine example still presents a strong visual representation of the original design while clearly showing evidence of real circulation. Collectors often search through coins like the 1980 Roosevelt dime because certain varieties and mint errors can significantly increase a coin's value. During the minting process, coins are struck using large presses that imprint the design onto metal blanks known as planchettes. Occasionally small irregularities occur during this process, producing unusual coins known as mint errors. Examples include double dies where the letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated, off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned, clipped planchettes where part of the coin is missing, or die cracks that appear as raised lines across the surface. These unusual characteristics can transform an otherwise common coin into a rare collectible. Another factor that influences the value of a coin is its overall eye appeal and surface preservation. Coins that have fewer scratches, smoother surfaces, and clearer remaining details are generally considered more desirable among collectors. Even coins that have circulated can still be valuable if they retain attractive surfaces and balanced wear. A 1980p dime in very fine condition may still appear visually appealing if the portrait and reverse design remain well defined. In the collector marketplace, the value of a 1981 dime coin with the P Mint mark can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and collector demand. While many circulated examples remain common, coins that are well preserved or display rare minting characteristics can attract much greater attention. In some cases, collectors have paid hundreds of dollars for particularly attractive examples, and rare air varieties have occasionally reached values in the thousands of dollars when sold through specialized numismatic auctions. Professional grading organizations often evaluate collectible coins to determine their authenticity and condition. These organizations use detailed grading systems that measure wear, strike quality, and surface preservation. Once graded, coins are sealed inside protective holders with official labels verifying their authenticity and grade. This certification increases buyer confidence and often enhances the market value of the coin. Proper care and preservation are essential for maintaining the long-term condition and value of collectible coins. Experienced collectors usually handle coins only by their edges to prevent fingerprints or oils from damaging the surface. Coins are often stored in protective holders, albums, or airtight capsules designed specifically for numismatic storage. Keeping coins in a cool and dry environment helps prevent corrosion or discoloration that could reduce their value. Beyond its potential monetary value, the 1980p Roosevelt dime carries historical significance because it represents the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the ideals symbolized by the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse design. These elements represent liberty, peace, and strength, which remain central values of the United States. The coin therefore serves not only as a piece of currency but also as a small tribute to the nation's political history and democratic principles. For collectors and historians alike, coins such as the 1980p Roosevelt dime are more than simple pieces of metal used for everyday transactions. They are historical artifacts that reflect the artistic design, economic conditions, and technological advancements of the time in which they were produced. Each coin tells a small part of the story of American currency and the leaders whose legacy continues to shape the nation. Because of its classic design, its connection to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and the possibility of rare varieties and mint errors, the 1981 dime coin with the P Mint mark remains an interesting collectible in the world of numismatics. In very fine condition, the coin still preserves the essential details of its design while displaying the gentle wear of circulation history. With the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand, certain examples of this coin can reach market values ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, making the 1980p Roosevelt dime a fascinating and potentially valuable piece for collectors and enthusiasts of United States coin history. Next video. The United States one-dime coin dated 1975 with the D Mint mark is part of the famous Roosevelt dime series that has been circulating in the United States since the mid-20th century. This coin was produced by the United States Mint at the Denver Mint facility, which is represented by the D mint mark found on the obverse side of the coin near the date. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946 to honor the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential presidents in American history. Roosevelt served as president during the difficult years of the Great Depression and World War II, and his leadership helped shape the modern United States. After his passing in 1945, the U.S. government chose to commemorate him on the dime partly because of his strong association with the March of Dimes campaign, which raised funds to combat polio. By the year 1975, the Roosevelt dime had already become one of the most recognizable coins in American currency, and the 1975 D issue represents an important part of this long-running series that collectors still study and search for valuable varieties today. The obverse design of the 1975 D dime features a detailed left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt created by the United States Mint engraver John R. Sinek. Sinek's design shows Roosevelt's profile with a strong and dignified expression. The portrait highlights the president's forehead, nose, lips, and chin while capturing the calm leadership that characterized Roosevelt's public image. Around the portrait appear several inscriptions that are traditional elements of American coin design. Along the left edge of the coin appears the word, liberty, symbolizing the core principle upon which the United States was founded. Beneath Roosevelt's chin appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," which has appeared on many American coins since the 19th century. To the right of the portrait appears the date, 1975, and next to the date appears the small D mint mark identifying the Denver Mint as the place where the coin was produced. In very fine condition, the portrait remains clearly visible and the major features of Roosevelt's face remain defined, although the highest areas of the hair and cheek may show moderate smoothing due to normal circulation wear. The reverse side of the 1975 D Roosevelt dime contains a symbolic design that represents liberty, peace, and strength. At the center of the reverse stands a vertical torch, a powerful symbol representing enlightenment and freedom. On the left side of the torch appears an olive branch, which has long symbolized peace and harmony. On the right side appears an oak branch, symbolizing strength, stability, and endurance. Together these elements create a balanced composition that expresses the ideals of the United States and the enduring principles of democracy. Around the upper edge of the reverse appears the inscription, United States of America, while beneath it appears the denomination, 1 dime. Between these inscriptions and the central design appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which translates to, out of many, one, representing the unity of the states that form the United States. Even in very fine condition, the torch and surrounding branches remain recognizable, though some of the smaller leaf details may show signs of wear from years of circulation. The 1975 D Roosevelt dime was produced using a copper-nickel clad composition, which had become the standard material for United States dimes after 1965. Earlier dimes were made from 90% silver, but rising silver prices forced the government to change the composition to a more economical structure. The clad composition used for the 1975 dime consists of a pure copper core surrounded by 2 outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This combination gives the coin its familiar silver-colored appearance while providing strength and durability suitable for everyday circulation. The coin has a diameter of approximately 17.91 millimeters and weighs about 2.27 grams. Around the edge of the coin are small vertical ridges known as reeds. Reeded edges were originally introduced to prevent the shaving or clipping of precious metals from coins when they were made of silver or gold, and the feature continues to be used today as part of traditional coin design. A coin graded as very fine condition indicates that the coin has been circulated but still retains a large portion of its original design details. On the obverse side of a 1975 D dime in very fine condition, Roosevelt's portrait remains clear and well defined. The outline of the hair, forehead, and jawline can still be distinguished even though some of the fine hair strands may appear smoother. The inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date, 1975, along with the D mint mark remain easily readable. On the reverse side, the torch remains the dominant feature of the design, and both the olive and oak branches are visible even if the smallest leaf veins have been softened by wear. Collectors often examine coins like the 1975 Roosevelt dime very closely because small minting variations can create rare and valuable varieties. During the minting process, metal blanks called planchettes are struck by engraved dies under extremely high pressure. Occasionally small errors occur during this process, resulting in unusual coins known as mint errors. Examples include doubled dies where letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated, off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned with the coin's center, clipped planchettes where part of the metal blank is missing, and die cracks that appear as raised lines across the coin's surface. These mint errors can transform an otherwise common coin into a rare collectible that attracts strong interest from numismatic collectors. Another important factor that affects the value of a coin is its surface quality and overall eye appeal. Coins that show fewer scratches, cleaner surfaces, and stronger remaining design details are usually more desirable to collectors. Even coins that have circulated for years can still be valuable if they maintain a balanced and attractive appearance. The presence of strong design elements and readable inscriptions can make a very fine example much more appealing to collectors who appreciate coins that show a clear history of circulation. In the numismatic market, the value of a 1975 Roosevelt dime can vary depending on its condition, rarity, and whether it displays unusual minting characteristics. Many circulated examples remain common, but coins that are exceptionally well preserved or show rare minting varieties can command significantly higher prices. In some cases, collectors have paid hundreds of dollars for particularly desirable examples, and rare error varieties have occasionally reached values in the thousands of dollars when sold through specialized coin auctions and collector markets. Professional grading services often evaluate collectible coins to determine their authenticity and exact condition. These grading organizations use standardized scales to measure the amount of wear, strike quality, and surface preservation of each coin. After evaluation, coins are sealed in protective holders with certification labels indicating the grade and authenticity of the coin. This process helps protect the coin from damage and also increases buyer confidence in the marketplace. Proper storage and careful handling are important for maintaining the condition and value of collectible coins. Experienced collectors typically handle coins only by the edges to prevent fingerprints or oils from damaging the metal surface. Coins are often stored in protective holders, coin albums, or airtight capsules specifically designed for long-term numismatic preservation. Keeping coins in a dry and stable environment helps prevent corrosion, discoloration, and other environmental damage. The 1975 Roosevelt dime represents more than just a small piece of currency. It is also a symbol of American history and the legacy of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The coin reflects the artistic skill of its designer, the technological precision of the United States Mint, and the enduring values symbolized by the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse design. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, principles that have long been associated with the identity of the United States. For coin collectors, historians, and numismatic enthusiasts, coins like the 1975 Roosevelt dime offer a fascinating connection to the past. Each coin carries a story of its creation, circulation, and preservation. Even in very fine condition, the coin still displays the major elements of its original design while showing the gentle wear that comes from years of everyday use. Because of its historical connection to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, its classic symbolic design, and the possibility of rare minting varieties, the 1975 one-dime coin with the D mint mark remains an interesting collectible in the world of coin collecting. With the right combination of condition, rarity, and collector demand, certain examples of this coin can achieve market values ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, making the 1975 Roosevelt dime a potentially valuable and historically meaningful piece within the broader history of United States coinage. Next video. The United States one-dime coin dated 1967 with no mint mark is an important coin in the history of American currency and belongs to the well-known Roosevelt dime series. This coin was produced by the United States Mint during a unique period in American coinage when mint marks were temporarily removed from coins between 1965 and 1967. The removal of mint marks was a decision made by the U.S. government to discourage coin hoarding during a national coin shortage that occurred in the mid-1960s. Because collectors and the public were saving coins based on their mint marks, the government eliminated those marks for a short time so that all coins would appear identical and circulate more freely. As a result, The 1967 Roosevelt dime does not display a mint mark even though the coins were actually produced at multiple mint facilities such as Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. This historical detail makes the 1967 dime an interesting and distinctive issue in the Roosevelt dime series and an important piece for collectors who study the transitional period of American coinage. The Roosevelt dime series itself was introduced in 1946 to honor the memory of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was one of the most influential presidents in American history, leading the nation through the Great Depression and the Second World War. He also played a significant role in supporting efforts to combat polio, a disease that he personally battled during his lifetime. His connection with the organization known as the March of Dimes made the dime denomination a fitting tribute to his legacy. The Roosevelt dime replaced the earlier Mercury dime design and has remained in continuous production for decades, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. The obverse side of the 1967 Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. This portrait was created by the engraver John R. Sinek, who served as the chief engraver of the United States Mint. Sinek's design presents Roosevelt with a calm and dignified expression, capturing the president's recognizable profile with carefully engraved lines. The portrait highlights Roosevelt's forehead, nose, lips, and chin while also showing the gentle contours of his hair and facial structure. Along the left side of the coin appears the inscription, Liberty, which represents one of the most fundamental principles of the United States. Beneath Roosevelt's portrait appears the national motto, In God We Trust, while the date, 1967, appears to the right of the portrait. Because of the special policy during this time, no mint mark appears next to the date. In very fine condition, the portrait remains clearly visible with most major features intact, though the highest areas such as the hair above the ear and the cheek may show moderate wear from years of circulation. The reverse side of the 1967 Roosevelt dime features a symbolic design representing the ideals of liberty, peace, and strength. At the center stands a vertical torch, symbolizing enlightenment and the guiding light of freedom. On the left side of the torch appears an olive branch, which has long been a universal symbol of peace and cooperation. On the right side appears an oak branch representing strength, endurance, and national stability. These elements combine to form a balanced design that communicates the core values of the United States. Around the upper edge of the coin appears the inscription, United States of America, while the denomination, 1 dime, appears along the lower edge. Between these inscriptions appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, symbolizing the unity of the individual states that form the nation. Even in very fine condition, the torch and branches remain clearly identifiable, though the smallest details of the leaves may appear slightly worn. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is also historically significant because it belongs to the early years of the clad coinage era in the United States. Prior to 1965, American dimes were made from 90% silver, which gave them intrinsic metal value in addition to their face value. However, rising silver prices during the early 1960s created problems for the U.S. Mint because the metal value of the coins began to approach or exceed their face value. In response, the government introduced a new copper-nickel clad composition in 1965. The 1967 dime therefore consists of a pure copper core sandwiched between two outer layers of copper-nickel alloy. This composition provides durability and a silver-colored appearance while eliminating the use of expensive precious metals. The coin has a diameter of approximately 17.91 millimeters and a weight of about 2.27 grams. Its edge features a series of small vertical ridges known as reeds, a traditional design element that originally served to prevent the shaving of precious metals from coins. Coins graded as very fine condition have been circulated but still retain a strong portion of their original design detail. On a 1967 dime in very fine condition, Roosevelt's portrait remains easily recognizable and the inscriptions remain clear and readable. Some of the finer hair lines and facial details may be smoother due to wear, but the overall design remains strong. On the reverse side, the torch remains prominent and the olive and oak branches remain visible even though some leaf details may have softened over time. Collectors often search through Roosevelt dimes from the 1960s because certain varieties and minting errors can greatly increase their value. During the minting process, Metal blanks known as planchettes are struck by engraved dies under high pressure. Occasionally small irregularities occur during this process, creating coins with unusual characteristics. Examples include double die errors where letters or numbers appear slightly duplicated, off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned, clipped planchettes where part of the metal blank is missing, or die cracks that appear as raised lines across the coin's surface. These unusual features can make a coin extremely desirable among collectors. Another factor influencing a coin's value is its surface preservation and overall eye appeal. Coins that display fewer scratches, minimal corrosion, and stronger remaining design details are typically more attractive to collectors. Even coins that have circulated can be valuable if they maintain a balanced and appealing appearance with clearly visible inscriptions and recognizable design features. In the collector marketplace, the value of a 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark can vary widely depending on its condition, rarity, and the presence of unusual minting characteristics. Many circulated examples remain common and carry modest collector premiums, but coins with particularly strong detail, exceptional surfaces, or rare minting errors can attract much higher prices. Some desirable examples have reached values in the hundreds of dollars, while rare error varieties have occasionally sold for thousands of dollars in specialized numismatic auctions. Professional coin grading organizations often evaluate collectible coins to determine their authenticity and condition. These organizations use standardized grading systems that analyze the level of wear, strike quality, and surface preservation. Once graded, coins are sealed in protective holders with certification labels indicating their official grade. This process helps protect the coin and increases buyer confidence in the marketplace. Proper care and storage are essential for maintaining the condition and value of collectible coins. Experienced collectors usually handle coins only by the edges to prevent fingerprints or oils from damaging the metal surface. Coins are typically stored in protective holders, albums, or airtight capsules designed specifically for numismatic preservation. Keeping coins in a dry and stable environment helps prevent corrosion or discoloration that could reduce their collectible value. The 1967 Roosevelt dime therefore represents an interesting combination of historical context, artistic design, and numismatic significance. It reflects the transitional era when the United States changed from silver coinage to modern clad coinage and temporarily removed mint marks to address a national coin shortage. At the same time, the coin honors the enduring legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt and the democratic ideals symbolized by the torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. For collectors and historians, coins like the 1967 Roosevelt dime serve as small yet meaningful artifacts of American history. Each coin carries a story of its creation, circulation, and survival over time. Even in very fine condition, the coin still preserves much of its original beauty while displaying the natural wear that comes from years of use in everyday commerce. Because of its historical significance, distinctive mint mark policy, and the possibility of rare varieties, the 1967 one-dime coin without a mint mark continues to attract attention in the world of numismatics. Under the right circumstances, especially when rare errors or exceptional preservation are present, examples of this coin can reach collector values ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, making it an intriguing and potentially valuable piece within the broader history of United States coinage. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. A new coin story awaits you every next day.